I really love books. Always have, ever since I was a little kid, been a big reader. As a young teenager and even 11, 12, I started reading business books, investing books, number of different types of books. And I really enjoy really old books. And one of the books that I read a while ago, it was written in the early 1900s, and the author was sure he understood why men were going bald. He said men were going bald faster than women because men would wear hats that were too tight and women didn't. So if you're going bald, have you checked your hat lately? No, I'm just kidding. It's funny because back then they were sure that was truth, and that was the reason you were going bald. But today we obviously know that there's a whole multitude of factors that affect baldness. But oftentimes old books do have golden nuggets in them that still apply today. And so I wanted to pull, this was called Leadership. It was written in the 1950s, and it says, successful farming, for example, is governed by these laws. They demand that crops must be planted during certain seasons. The seedbed must not be too wet or too dry. The proper cultivation must follow. And then he goes on to say, the wise man learns to understand these laws. Then he may be not only to predict events in advance, but he will know how to bring about the desired results. By means of scientific prophecy, he may cause or prevent specific events. Now, this is talking all about leadership. And he's saying that we don't necessarily need to know why it is so, but we only need to know the law. Once we understand the law or the principle or the truth behind a matter, we can become great in whatever we do. If we're trying to become great leaders, if we're trying to become great in business, if we're just trying to be healthy, if we're going to have great relationships, there's certain laws that govern each of those items. And when we apply and follow those laws, we're going to be more successful. So take a moment and think for yourself, what laws, what principles is it that you're following? Just the other day, I saw a quote online and it said, you do not look like your goals, you look like your habits. Now, our habits are a great place to start to explore who we are, what we've become, and what we believe and what our actions are. Our habits are based around these truths. If we act a certain way, we'll get a certain result. If you're overweight, probably you're eating more than you need to. Maybe you're eating for the experience, not for the nutrients. And maybe you're not exercising as much as you need to. You've probably got more stress in your life and maybe not enough sleep in your life. All of those habits come back to these principles, these truths. And when we apply and change the truths and the principles that we're living by, our habits begin to shift, our life begins to shift, and our results begin to shift. Now, one of the reasons books are so great is an author can take of their experience or other people's experiences or a whole multitude of people's experiences, and they can consolidate all of that knowledge and put it into a format that we can quickly grab, digest, and implement into our life. Thankfully, we don't have to experience everything ourselves before we can learn the truth of a matter. We can go into books, we can go in and study and learn and discover what other people who have gone before us have already found out, and that can shortcut our experiences so that we can avoid the pitfalls they've already had. So what kind of goals are you looking for? What are you hoping to achieve? What are you trying to do in life? And when was the last time you read a book that was teaching how to be successful in that area? In fact, when was the last time you read a book? What was that book that you read? Why don't you leave it in a comment? Was it a great book? Was it a boring book? Did it help you on your journey? I'd encourage you to take a few minutes and do some research. Find some books, whether they're old, whether they're new, that are on the subject matter that you care about right now. Make a list of maybe 5 books, pick one, get it from the library, buy it, find an audio version, some way get a copy of it, and start studying that book and discover the true principles that are going to lead you to success that you're looking for faster than you can do on your own.